Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we're back in the garage and we are gonna make some baits. I just got a new Duo molds in the mail and I got some new Plastisol as well. So I wanna mix some worms up in my new mold, and I got some soft Plastisol. That's the soft formula, so it's gonna be a little bit softer, probably give a little bit more action, because I'm thinking that these are gonna be some drop shot worms that I'm gonna be making for myself. And I'm gonna try a new color today. I'm not sure how it's gonna turn out. Hopefully it turns out pretty good, but I'm gonna show you guys a picture of what I'm trying to emulate here in a second. But first, I wanna show you this new stuff that I got. Okay, so right here we got our Plastisol, and like I said, it's the soft formula. It's probably gonna give the worm a little bit more action. It's gonna be a little bit less durable because it's gonna be a softer plastic. But what we got here is the worms that we're gonna be making. It's a 3-worm injection mold, and this is the Gusano mold in the 6-inch version. I already have the Gusano in the 4.5-inch version, and I really like it. I've caught some fish on worms I've made myself already, so I definitely wanted to get the bigger version. Okay, so this is the worm color that I'm going to try to match. Obviously this worm profile is going to be different than the one I'm pouring, but basically what I'm trying to show you guys here is this green color up on top, and it's hard to tell in this picture, but it's like a watermelon with a small black, and it's got blue in there, and that's what I'm trying to emulate. And then it's got a pearl on the bottom. Like I said, it's not the best picture, but that's what I'm going to be going for. I know for a fact that my mold is going to pour just a little bit different, so that pearl is going to go up probably about halfway into the worm color. So I don't know how these are going to turn out, but I definitely like throwing this color bait, and this is the KVD Magic Dream Shot, and I've caught some fish on it here locally. I'll put a link in the description if you like that worm and you want to pick it up, but it's a KVD Magic in the Strike King Dream Shot. So as usual, when it comes to pouring plastics, you're gonna have to shake up your Plastisol and get it all, mixed up really good before you pour it into your measuring cups. I don't know how this color is gonna turn out, so I'm gonna do a small amount to start, and if I end up liking the color, then I'll do more. So I just don't wanna waste a bunch of Plastisol, because there's other colors that I make that I know I'm gonna like, but I've been wanting to try this one for a while, so I'm gonna give it a shot. So I'm only gonna use about a half a cup for each of my colors. Hopefully it turns out good. If not, then I'll just scrap it. But I want to show you, how I'm going about making this color, and also want to highlight my new molds, and or my new mold, the 6-inch Gusano. And also, I'm going to put all the links to this stuff in the description of this video, so if there's anything that you want to buy or you want to check out, get some more information on, make sure to check out the links in the description of this video. I do that in all my videos, and for whatever reason, I always forget to mention it to you guys. So if you want to know what tackle I'm using when I'm doing my on the water videos, or what stuff I'm making my baits with, in those videos, just hit the description, and all that stuff's in there. There's discount codes to the different companies I have discount codes on. So, and I also really love it if you support those companies, especially, or all of them for that matter, but there's definitely some benefits to the discount codes, because it's going to save you money and it's going to help you support me as well. It means a lot. It shows that, the content that I'm putting out there is reaching people, and it's causing you guys to buy. So I really appreciate it if you support those that support me. Comes to mixing this Plastisol up, I'm literally just gonna shake it in this box like that. I've done other videos where I've shaken it and stuff like that. I'm not gonna bore you with that. So as soon as I get this shaken up and into my measuring cups, I'll get back with you guys here in a second. So as you can see, we got our Plastisol in our measuring cups, and the first color that I'm going to do is my watermelon color, which is going to be the top of the worm, and then I'll do my bottom, which is going to be the pearl color. So what I decided to do first is put my Plastisol into the microwave, so that way I can heat it up and get it to a nice clear consistency, and then I'm going to start adding my colors into it. My watermelon color is basically going to be the watermelon green color from the Duo Molds Colorants, and then my pearl is just going to be probably like a bluish color pearl. I'm going to be very careful about how much I put in, because the pearls go a long way. So that's what I'm going to do to start off, and then we'll kind of go from there to see what other colors or flakes or whatever I'm going to need to add in. Okay, so our Plastisol is heated up and it's gotten to the right temperature. I am going to stir it up just a little bit to make sure that anything down on the bottom is all stirred and mixed in really well. And there's no colorant in here yet, so there's no issues with me taking this knife and putting it into the other cup. And here in a second, I am gonna get my watermelon color going. Okay, so to start off, I'm gonna be using my Soft Baits Watermelon Green X2 colorant. And I'm gonna start off with 3 drops of colorant. You don't need a ton, especially with only a half a cup of Plastisol. There's drop number 2 and drop number 3. So I'm gonna stir that in first, and we'll see what we come up with here in a second. We might need to add more, but I want it to be relatively clear and see-through. That's probably going to be a little bit more green than I want, so I might end up adding some watermelon brown to darken it up a little bit. But we'll have to just see here in a second. That's actually looking pretty good. I think I'm going to add 1 drop of the watermelon brown, which is right here. I'm going to shake it up just a little bit. I already shook it a little bit, but I'm going to shake it up again and add in 1 drop, just like that. And I think that might get me to what I'm looking for, because I want it to be see-through. I want it to be able to show through some flake that I'm going to add in there. And this stuff always darkens a little bit once you shoot it into the mold. Yeah, I like that color. That color turned out pretty good. I'm gonna add some flake in here right now. Yeah, that's stirred in real good. And the next step's gonna be adding some flake in. So this Plastisol is starting to set up a little bit, so I am gonna put it back in the microwave. And the reason I'm putting both of them back at the same time is just so I can keep them around the same temperature, because this is gonna be a laminate color. So I'm gonna want these 2 Plastisols to be around the same temperature. Okay, so I think they're heated up good enough to start adding some more color in. And you gotta remember to wear the gloves, because this stuff's always super hot. And let's stir this in real quick. Stir this up a little bit. And then we're gonna add our first little bit of flake. The first color I'm gonna add is this blue flake. It didn't show up very good in the picture that I showed you guys from my phone, but there's definitely some blue in here. And this is a 1/4 teaspoon measuring thing right here. So I'm gonna put about 1/8 of a teaspoon in, because this isn't very much plastic. So I don't wanna overpower it with the glitter, because I'm gonna also add some purple in here as well. So let's see how this ends up. Stuck to my knife, so let's scrape it off the sides and try to get some more of that to work in a little bit. Yeah, that's definitely, yeah, that turned out good. I almost don't know that I need any purple, but I think I'm gonna add just a tiny bit of purple in, just to give it a little bit more color. But I think that blue is gonna look pretty cool as well, because I'm gonna use blue Hi-Lite on the bottom side. I'm just putting barely any purple in there. But I think this is, I'm hoping this is gonna turn out pretty cool. But we won't, you never know when pouring plastics until you get to the very end. But I think this blue and purple with the green is gonna turn out pretty cool. Okay, so I had to stop the video for a second because the ice cream man decided to drive by, and I wish he would have told me that he was gonna drive by, so that way I could have, you know, gotten an ice cream or something maybe. But we're gonna keep going, and the next thing we're gonna do is on this side, we are going to add our blue pearl Hi-Lite powder. And this one, I'm a little bit nervous. I don't wanna overpower it, so like I'm literally putting 1/8 of a teaspoon to start, because you can always add more, but it's not always easy to add less. And this time I am gonna make sure that I use a clean thing to stir it with. And now I'm gonna stir in this pearl blue powder Hi-Lite, and you really got to stir this stuff in pretty good. And it looks like my Plastisol just started to set up just a little bit, so I'm gonna have to heat everything back up to make sure I get this all mixed in good enough. But I'm liking how it's looking so far. So I had a phone call I had to take in the middle of this entire video. So right now I'm heating my Plastisol all the way back up because it set up on me. So I got it in the microwave right now, and it's getting melted back down, and we'll be able to get these worms going here pretty soon. I got to check on the Plastisol here now. You can hear that beeping going. So let's check it out. Let's see how much more it needs to heat up, and let's get some of these worms made up. All right, so we're getting the Plastisol out. It definitely melted down a little bit, but we still got a little ways to go. Let me get this scraped off the sides. It'll probably need to go back in there for maybe another minute and a half or something like that. But we are pretty close to being ready to go. I do like how that pearl's turning out though. That's looking pretty good. It's just a little faint hue to it. I'm really liking it. So let me get these back in the microwave, melt them down a little bit more, and hopefully we'll be able to pour some of these. Okay, so we got our dual injector right there. It's all set up and ready to go. We have our laminate tool right here, and then we have both of our worm molds right here. This is the 6-inch El Gusano. This is the 4.5-inch, and the top is on this side. So when you're pouring laminates, you want to make sure that you know what side of the mold your top is on, so that way you can set everything up and make sure that your top color goes in on the right side of your laminate tool right here. All right, so our plastic is ready to go. We're gonna put it up onto this angled thing that I made. I don't know what you want to call it, but it's an angle, so that way the Plastisol sits in it a little bit better, so I can suck it up easier. And we are gonna make some of these worms. I'm gonna let it cool down just a little bit, because sometimes with laminates, when you pour them too hot, that the Plastisol is gonna mix instead of laminating one next to the other. So I'm gonna let this cool down just a little bit, and then we'll come back and we will shoot these worms. While this Plastisol is melting down, I got this idea on this little angled little table or holder, whatever you want to call it, from Chris Jones on World Wars Fishing. He's got an awesome YouTube channel on plastic pouring and stuff like that. I'm sure if you found my videos, you definitely have found his. But I saw the one that one of his fans or subscribers made for him, and I figured I could figure out how to make one myself, and it does the job. It's not as nice and fancy as his is, but it works and it does the job. All right, so I think our plastic's ready to go. So I'm gonna stick my injectors in there and suck up the plastic. I think we got a good amount in there. And like I said, you wanna make sure you know what side is the top. And I'm gonna just slowly push into the mold just fast enough so it goes in there. And it just stopped a little bit. And I just stopped, it just got the pressure, hold pressure on there. I'm gonna top off that sprue. And then I'm gonna go to the next one and then hold pressure and push down. I got full pressure on there now. I'm gonna top off that sprue. And let's see how these ended up. Put the extra back into our cups. All right, so we're gonna open these up. I don't have the best feeling on how they turned out. My Plastisol is pretty off based on what it looks like inside my cups after doing this, but we're gonna take everything apart, see how they turned out. But I have a feeling it was a fail, and it definitely was. For whatever reason, the green did not want to show up. I can see a little bit in there, but for whatever reason, it must have gotten plugged up. It definitely did not come through. Let's see what the other one looks like. And that one didn't come through very good either. I don't know where I went wrong, but we're gonna shoot these again. So the first attempt was a failure. So we're gonna try this again. I had to add a little bit of leftover failed worms in this one to try to make sure I had enough to go for my second round here. I definitely like how the green color turned out. It's super subtle, but it just, for whatever reason, it just did not show through when I was pouring my first batch. So we're gonna try to heat this all up again and see if we can't get it to laminate better. Okay, so attempt number 2 is coming up right now. Let's see if we can't get these worms to do what we want them to do. Again, we're gonna try to let the Plastisol cool a little bit, and hopefully we can get it to laminate this time. I'm wondering if maybe last time it was still just a little bit too hot. I don't think I injected it too quickly, but I'm not really sure. I just, for whatever reason, I definitely had trouble with that last one. So hopefully round 2 will be a lot better. Okay, so we are going to take our dual injector and suck up some more of the plastic. There we go. Okay. And last time I'm almost thinking I had some kind of harden up on me on the outside, so I'm going to push it just a little bit out. Okay, we got good flow on both sides. Come over to our mold and even pressure, push down nice and slow. I don't think I got enough in there, but we'll see. Okay, and go over to the other side. Nice even pressure. Okay, that one stopped nicely. And top off the sprue. Top off the sprue. I think these ones are going to be closer to being right. We won't really know until we open everything up after they harden up, but I definitely have even amounts of Plastisol left over in both my injectors, so hopefully this time it worked out better. Okay, so this is the time where we're gonna find out if I was successful or not. I have a feeling that the bigger mold didn't fill in all the way. I just don't feel like I had enough plastic go in there, but we're gonna find out. There might be good looking worms, there might be bad looking worms, or there might be worms that just didn't fill in all the way. These are definitely better than last time. Actually, that laminate worked. They laminated this time, and I really actually like them. That turned out pretty darn good. I would say that was a successful pour. Let's take out the smaller ones. Check these guys out, and these laminated pretty well as well. So we definitely were successful on our second attempt, and I'm really happy with how those turned out. Those turned out a lot closer to what I was going for than I expected them to, especially since this is a different worm. Sorry, I stumbled on my words there. But yeah, the worm in the picture and this worm right here are a lot closer than I expected them to be, even though the other one's a totally different shape. That's the word I was looking for, shape. So yeah, I think these turned out really good. I'm really happy with them. Okay, so we are outside right now. The sun's starting to go down, so the light's not the best, but I'm trying to get you guys to be able to see how these laminated. I think they laminated pretty darn good. I would definitely throw these worms myself, and I'm gonna have to make some more of them for sure. But yeah, I'm happy with the way they turned out.
Well, everybody, thank you for watching this video. I really hope you liked how those worms turned out. I definitely bombed it on that first pour. I'm not exactly sure what went wrong. I really think that the green side had something plugged up in the injector, so the green just didn't come out. Because when I did it the second time around, I actually shot a little bit of plastic out of the injectors before I put them into the molds itself. I had a good flow, so I knew going into the mold I had good flow, so I learned a little bit of my lesson on after those first ones. But that just goes to show sometimes when you're making baits, you're gonna screw them up, and then if you just go for it again, you're gonna hit it pretty good. I'm really happy with how those turned out. They aren't perfect laminates, but I'm definitely happy with them, and I definitely think they'll catch fish. I've gotten bit on worms super similar to those, like I showed you in the beginning of this video. I'm gonna throw those, I'm gonna make some more of them, and hopefully I can put that on video and show you guys that these do in fact catch fish. So please subscribe to my channel. I really hope you enjoyed this video making these worms. Comment a name for these worms down below. I have no idea what I would call these, but comment a name for these worms down in the description. And if you're interested in any of the stuff mentioned in this video, make sure to check out that subscription or description, and please subscribe to my channel. See you guys next time.